Hello and welcome back to SpriteGuard Plays Legacy of Lunatic Kingdom. Today is going to be a little bit of a different episode. It's kind of, we've come to a critical point in this series, and basically what's happened is I'm having some problems with my left eye. And I don't want to go into too much detail, but basically I'm having a little bit of more difficulty seeing than usual, and so it hasn't affected most of my gaming. But it seems very likely to affect this game because I need to be able to see so much, so precisely, and so quickly. And, you know, I can see pretty well, but there's just that little bit of occlusion. I have to move my eyes around a little bit more to see what's in front of me. And so today's going to be a test to see, you know, can I keep playing this game? Can I keep doing this series? Or do I need to put it on hiatus until my eye gets better? And so that's what we're going to be kind of trying to figure out today. Now, this pattern that we're starting out with is a pretty simple one. I think that if I can kind of put my mind to it, I don't actually need to be able to see really well in order to do this. Because there's really clear, visible, obvious gaps, and it's really just a matter of knowing where those are. And some of them are not huge, but it's kind of, it's this trade-off where they're fairly big gaps compared to what we have been seeing, but they happen a lot faster. And so we kind of have to remember and look for visual cues, and so there's where we might actually run into some problems. Is when we start looking for visual cues and possibly not finding them. And so, you know, we'll have to see, okay, so where's the safe spot? There's a safe spot. Alright, that remains a safe spot. That's good. Alright, chapter finish. So that was pretty good. Alright, another wave of mobs. And this is some really classic bullet patterns. I love this kind of mob wave where you have these, you know, thick but totally manageable walls of bullets. And I might want to slow down for some of this. These patterns really remind me of a lot of patterns in Kenta Cho's game, especially Noise 2 SA. Because that's a game where you have a lot of mob waves and not as many bosses, and you have these kind of these medium speed bullets that come in these interesting cloud formations. That's an interesting pattern right there. Now if we use this beam power, it seems like we can knock these guys out maybe a little bit quicker, but we have to, you know, we can only have it on one part of the screen at a time, and so it might not be worth the benefit, or the drawback. The benefit might not be worth the drawback, is what I'm trying to say. But I was noticing when we were using the homing bullets, whoops, what I was noticing was that we were getting some that were making it further down the page. Now, maybe that was just bad shooting on my part. Maybe if I, you know, shoot a little bit more cleverly, we can keep them from getting kind of past us. But yeah, you're seeing there's some that are swooping down, almost like a Galaga enemy. And so that kind of indicates to me that we need to be a little bit more powerful than we are. That was just sloppy. I didn't even see what hit me there. I was looking ahead of where I was, which is the right thing to do. But I was not confident enough, or I was not aware enough of what was around me, and so I walked into something that I just wasn't looking at. And so you have to know where you are on the screen. You know, you also have to be looking, you know, ahead of yourself at where the bullets are coming from. That was some some not smart dodging. That was some lucky dodges that were not well thought out right there. So you have to be looking ahead, but you also have to know, you have to remember where those bullets are going to be when they reach you. Now, if we stick near the middle, I think we'll take these guys out pretty quickly, but we don't always have that option, because there's that aimed component. So what if we do this, and then move over there? That's given us quite a bit of space. Okay, I don't know how we survived that, but it was pretty cool. Yeah, I'm letting these rivers of bullets get too tight. And that is causing me problems. So I need to get through them while they still have gaps. Alright, there's that next pattern. Ooh, couldn't quite move fast enough. So getting through this first pattern consistently is going to be a really big barrier to learning the second pattern. And so really learning where those gaps are going to open up is so huge. When to start moving left, when to start moving right, and then, you know, there's the kind of the two layers in this game of you need to manipulate the aimed shots, and so you kind of need to manipulate your position and move left and right, kind of on the big scale, and then there's the little scale of you have to dodge the bullets and you have to weave kind of in and out of the patterns. And so that you have to kind of know about your micro position. And it's kind of a macro-micro thing. Though, you know, it's hard to compare that to the macro-micro distinction in like a real-time strategy game, because there you're controlling so many characters. And it's a totally different experience, but it's still, you know, in this game there is still its own variety of kind of macro management and micromanagement that you can often kind of have those confusing terminology between games, those things where you have really broad conceptual similarities that just don't really play out as gameplay similarities. And so it can be difficult sometimes to talk to people from one genre about a game from another genre if that they don't have experience with, because you have these really broadly similar ideas that are not very similar in actual execution. And you often want to use the same words for them, but that can be more confusing than helpful a lot of the time. So I don't know how much longer I want to try and grind this pattern. I'm kind of feeling like it's not really meant to be today. And I think I am going to put this game on hiatus for a little while. I'm not sure what I'll be doing in its place, but I'm kind of going through, you know, some difficult times with my health. And so I want to just scale it back for a little while until I get a little bit more back on my feet. So probably in the next couple of deaths I'm going to wrap this up. A little tiny bit shorter than I usually like to do it. But, as I said, things have not been ideal lately. So yeah, that's where I'm going to wrap it up. So, you know, I don't know when next time is, but the series is going to go on hiatus. We have a little bit of roguelite coming back really briefly. And of course, the Hyper Rogue will continue unabated. The toys are going really well, really enjoying those. And I'll continue to look for interesting games. So until next time, thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.